What is going on, everybody? It's Asking back at you with another video. And today we're doing one of these videos I've been waiting a long ass time for. And I know some of y'all have been too. That is the Steelers 7-round mock draft. So, of course, if you're Steelers fans like me, of course, join the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing, all that YouTube jazz. You guys want to talk with me? All these links down below. But you guys aren't here to hear me jibber jabber about the channel. You're here to look at what we're going to get for the Steelers. So before we get into that, let's check out the Steelers roster. I always do this before every single one. Let's just check out the wide receiver room. It's going to be a little bit barren after this year. Juju, he probably will re-sign for a short-term contract again. You don't, after the year he's had, it's pretty obvious that he's not going to be getting the big bucks like he was trying to. Chase, he's going to be here for a little while. Hopefully he matures. James Washington already wanted to be traded in the first place. He ain't coming back. Deontay, we better pray that we can re-sign him after next year. This guy's the only reason our offense, passing-wise, is good in the receiving core. It's just, no disrespect to Chase, but Deontay is the alpha in the wide receiver room. He's an absolute dog. We have two really good pieces, though. Bottom line, we have two good pieces. Depth-wise, we're going to need some help. Obviously, I know that Steelers know how to pick up dudes just like that. Pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I thought Anthony Miller was still on the squad. He might be on the practice squad right now, but we'll find a way. Okay, we might pick up a late round wide receiver. This draft's probably not the best for it. There's some really good talent still circulating out there from the previous drafts. I'm not too worried. We might pick up one wide receiver to be a true wide receiver one or boundary wide receiver, just because Deontay has that slot fully locked up, and I don't think we really want to change how that goes. Tight end wise, we are pretty much set. I think Pat Freiermuth has proven that he's the guy. I think that having a guy like Zach Gentry as a backup is going to be perfectly fine. We could pick up somebody in free agency who's more of a veteran just to sit there as well, but I don't really see much of a need to ever target tight end in this draft. Tackle wise, so left tackle, we got Dan Moore. He's been doing a pretty damn solid job, especially for what I was worried he was going to be doing this year. Done a lot better than I expected. And I mean, I felt a little bit better because during the draft, my buddy, who's now the director of scouting for the 49ers, told me that they said he was starter potential, which is great because I had no freaking idea. He's doing a good job. He solidified the left tackle spot, especially for the short term. Chukwuma Okorafor is not going to be re-signed. I hope to God he doesn't re-sign. I don't want a reason to not bring in a tackle. I don't want us to use our cash to be able to fund this right tackle spot. Like Zach Banner, he's going to be here for one more year. That's great. That's exactly what we're looking for. We don't need to pay two right tackles money to be backups or rotational quality players. Unless Jakuma takes a good deal. I don't know why his name's Chuck Okorafor. It's Jakuma. But Joe Haig, another guy who, like, we have some good depth right now, and that is perfect. We just need starter quality. Got Dan Moore. I think that he can continue to develop and then be a true left tackle. I'm fine with that until you find, unless you, of course, get somebody like Ikem Ekwonu who falls, or Evan Neal. That'd be a dream, right? We can get left or right tackle from him. That is going to be an area of concern. But left tackle, not so much for the short term. Looking at the guards, we're going to be looking back at the rest of the defense soon. Kendrick Green, as well as, I don't know why he's listed as a guard. He plays center. Is Kevin Dotson. Those guys locking it up for the long term. Trey Turner probably going to leave. Maybe we could re-sign him on a short-term deal, but that is certainly something I'm going to be targeting. BJ Finney, as well as our backup, who I've never even heard of. I'm a Steelers fan, been in it my entire life. Never even heard of this dude. So, yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the depth of the offensive line, but I know that we'll find a way to get it done. Of course, didn't talk about the running back or the quarterback. So running back wise, we're set with Najee. 3 down back. I was very happy when we got to bring him on. Thought that was a perfect fit. So cheers to the Steelers for bringing on a guy who fits exactly what they are looking for. Anthony McFarland, I think maybe getting a backup running back wouldn't be a bad idea. I like Kalen Ballage as a backup. Of course, he has a 1-year contract. Maybe we can send him a little bit further, but bottom line is we have a little bit of a liability behind our superstar Najee. Quarterback wise, this is going to be a big target this draft. Again, Dwayne Haskins isn't even on contract next year. We don't even know if he's going to re-sign. And then Mason Rudolph, by this time we all know he's not the answer. So, and then somehow Josh Dobbs is on the roster too. He's back, but yeah, Ben already says he's going to be retiring or parting ways with the team one way or another. He's not going to be here. So quarterback, offensive tackle, especially the right tackle, guard. Those are positions of the offense that we need to focus on. On the defensive side, we're just going to take it from the safety position because we're right here right now. We're pretty solid. I think Terrell Edmonds might be re-signed for a solid deal, like a pretty low price, because again, he hasn't been outstanding, but he's been very serviceable. And I think that the Steelers can get him for a very good deal. Again, depth-wise, you got Miles Killebrew, Marcus Allen, both of them up for contracts this coming year, but we'll find a way. The Steelers do know how to get backups actually pretty damn well. Looking at the next position, let's just look at corners to keep it in the DB realm. Looking at corners as well, you got Joe Hayden. He's up for a contract. Also, probably should retire soon. Steelers might be able to franchise tag him for one more year or bring him on for a 1-year contract. Sutton has been doing a pretty damn solid job. That's been a good signing. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he got torched one of these last weeks. So maybe not the best corner in the league, but certainly someone who's serviceable. Keller Witherspoon, we traded, I think, a 5th-round pick for him. I think we should bring him back. He had, I think, 2 interceptions. Looked a little bit stupid trying to brag and shit when the team wasn't doing so hot, but definitely somebody who's solid. Justin Lane, a little unfortunate. James Pierre shown some good flashes, but we need a second corner. So add that to the list. And looking at the defensive side, looking at the defensive interior, honestly, I'm not that big of a huge concern for this. You got Chris Wormley's even doing really well, right? He's been doing a very good job. I like him quite a bit. Cameron Hayward, not worried about the interior. And these guys include on the interior. So realistically, defensive line is not something I would want to go after unless it's really good value. Linebacker wise, I think we're fine. I really do. Edge rusher, we can get one more for depth. So honestly, the defense is not as bad as it seems. I think it just needs more development than anything. But let's get into the draft. I decided to take a little bit longer on this one than I normally do, solely because this is my team. So I wanted to really dive deep into what I thought about it. And we're going to definitely reiterate a lot of those ideas as the draft goes on. Speaking of some weird things as the draft's going on, Kenny Pickett's at number 5. That is ridiculous. Not because of Kenny Pickett being at 5, but him going to the New York Giants. So we, of course, are going to be declining every single we all know Evan Neal's not going to go there. Just, that would have been great. Regardless. I love Evan Neal. Bottom line, he's my number 2 player in the draft. I just love this guy. We're not going to be taking trades because if I redid this draft, we're not going to get the same trades. Same thing could be said about the players, but it just overcomplicates things. At this spot, we go quarterback like Malik Willis, or we go offensive line. Charles Cross, I wouldn't want to take him and then move him to right tackle. Again, he just got into his own. Trevor Penning's way too raw, not worth this pick. Nicholas Petit-Frere, I have him as a mid to late second, just after putting up a 7.7 PFF grade against Michigan. They obviously have some amazing pass rushers, but that is a big concern. However, Kendrick Green can play guard, right? It already listed him as a guard on the official chart. Let's just talk about this right now. I have Tyler Linderbaum as my number 5 player in the entire draft. We've already transitioned to more of a mobile blocking scheme. I think Tyler Linderbaum brings all the guts, glory, all that stuff that you could ever ask for in a player. Corner, another thing that we could look at, obviously, Sauce Gardner would be an excellent choice. I think getting a guy like Kyler Gordon round 2 or 3 would also be great. Quarterback, again, is probably our biggest need. Now, I'd be tempted to go Sam Howell or Malik Willis here. Not a big fan of Desmond Ridder. It kind of sucks because, I would have wanted to get Matt Corral, and of course it went to the Eagles. So we're stuck between a couple picks here. And honestly, the 3 picks, there's Malik Willis, Sauce Gardner, as well as Tyler Linderbaum. Right guard is certainly an issue. However, there is a guy I do like later on. His name's Tyler Smith. He's a left tackle, but I would honestly be willing to move him to right guard if need be. I'm a huge fan of that guy. You guys should check him out. That guy's an absolute beast. Big fan of him. So honestly, I might hop off this Tyler Linderbaum train solely because I don't think we draft 2 centers in a row. It's just, it's a little bit iffy. I don't think that it's worth nearly the same as a quarterback. Sam Howell probably is going to be the best guy for the Steelers. Malik Willis is going to be the most intriguing. The difference is Sam Howell actually has a chance to continue developing and be impactful in the short term versus Malik Willis has a lot more growth to do. I know Sam's had a down year, but this guy was supposed to be the number 1 pick, right? He has a pretty poor offensive line. He lost all of his weapons. He lost pretty much his entire running game. Ty Chandler did a great game this year, but it's like he had that all last year. So Sam lost a lot and he didn't overcome it. That's why he's not the number 1 pick. But this guy has incredible talent. Both these guys have incredible talent. Malik Willis behind the curtain is my quarterback 1. This guy's incredible. But I mean, you look at that. They're almost a year and a half apart. That's a true huge gap right there. And Malik Willis is not going to produce the same way that someone like Sam Howell will. So do we take the chance of going offensive line or corner here and then take the chance of Malik Willis being there in the second, or Carson Strong? Or do we go with a guy like Sam Howell or Malik Willis here? I think that you can't pass on the quarterback, and it's a tough decision, guys. I didn't think I was going to be set up with this. I honestly thought we were just going to like stick with a Matt Corral pick because I love Malik and I think that he is absolutely phenomenal. He has the best arm strength that I've ever seen. The ball velocity is just unbelievable. But Sam Howell's also built a little bit more for the NFL. That being said, I think that this 37 TDN rank is some complete BS. And I think that this is going to change when we start seeing those workouts, when we start seeing the Senior Bowl, where Malik is just launching rockets 60, 70 yards downfield. Teams are going to get a little bit hyped. We're going to go Malik Willis out of Liberty here. You know, you can use his mobility. This is a team where you will probably have some amazing mentors around Malik to be able to help him grow. I honestly think Ben Roethlisberger should retire and then become the quarterback's coach for this team. I think that'd be an excellent choice. And it offers the Steelers, since they are more of a mobile scheme, the opportunity to really take it up a notch. And there you go. See, we probably wouldn't have been able to select, look at that. We lost all 3 quarterbacks to start around. So I'm pretty happy with not passing on quarterback right there to go offensive line. You know, we did lose out on some offensive linemen there as well, but it's also the Steelers thing to get linemen late. It was a little bit of a tough one right there. Bailey, did Zapp already go? Oh no, he didn't. I thought I saw Zapp go. Tanner McKee just went. I don't even know why he's in here. It's obvious that he's not going to return. Daniel Faalele would be fun. Obviously, I don't think that that's a very realistic pick. You look at him, 6'8", 380 pounds. He's actually listed at 6'9", 380. But the guy is an absolute monster. Not somebody the Steelers would take, though. We're definitely trying to trend more towards a more mobile offensive line. You can tell that by the fact that we took Kenyon Green as our center and Dan Moore, definitely more mobile. So people like Max Mitchell are guys who I get a little bit more excited about. I like him quite a bit. He is my right tackle 5. It's kind of like 4.5, just because I have him as well as, who else do I have in there? I think I have Nicholas Petit-Frere as well as my right tackle 4 or 5. But Max Mitchell's a beast. Regardless, you look at tackle, you look at corner, which I'm probably going to be favoring Kyler Gordon, or we look at the interior of the offensive line. Sean Ryan is definitely somebody who I'd like to target here. He is absolutely phenomenal. He is a left tackle right now at UCLA. I don't think you'd want to force a left tackle to transition to right guard. Just he's never had experience on the right side in the first place. He's a hulking dude, though. I would not be mad at all if the Steelers go this way. However, we're going to be going a guy who I don't know if he's going to come out in the draft, just because I think he's arguably top 32 in my books. Kyler Gordon out of Washington. One, he fits exactly what the Steelers need. We definitely need a boundary corner who's athletic and not old, not going to get torched. You got Jamar Chase now in our division every single year, twice a year, going up against our corners. And then we know the story by this point. Kyler Gordon's going to be my pick. I love Kyler Gordon with a passion. Like, he is very, very talented. When people are trying to put him as their cornerback 1, though, I have to ask them why, because I don't think they're factoring in the fact that he's covering wide receiver 2s. As an athlete, I think he is beyond phenomenal. Also, look at, we could get Kobe Bryant later in the 3rd round, but it's like, I think the talent drops exponential at that point. Even though, no disrespect to Kobe Bryant, might be seeing him at the Cotton Bowl since it's going to be in Dallas. So keep you guys tuned up with that one. But We'll see which linemen are here. If Max Mitchell could be on the board, I haven't been paying attention to the board, to be honest with you guys. If Max Mitchell could be here, I would be extremely happy because, yes, he is phenomenal. Daniel Faalele's worth taking over a guy like Max Mitchell. I'll just be straight up honest with that. But let's see. Honestly, I could possibly, let's see. No, it's not going to be that way. So over here, you get to see Max Mitchell's whole entire scouting report right here. But where I think we're right now in the right tackle zone. So yeah, it's Daniel Faalele who I was battling with him for. So obviously they're a little bit lighter. I think he's excellent in the pass blocking, a little bit issue with the run. Yes, I can move my camera for you guys, but this is just what right now I'm basing everything off of. I thought he was honestly really solid, especially for this pick. Definitely somebody who I would personally like to bring on. I think he's probably worth the pick. Jackson Kirkland as well. I mean, we could look over here and see where Jackson Kirkland ranks in this. He ranks below Mitchell and Faalele. I honestly think Max Mitchell might be worth this pick, and I might just take him. Faalele, again, just doesn't seem what we'd be looking for. Much more athletic. I do like him quite a bit. Unfortunately, there's another guy who I think he just went very recently, Bernard Raymond. Since he's so raw and he's so good already, he's been only playing tackle for 2 years. I would be willing to move him from left to right. That's not the case. We also have drafted linemen from Louisiana before. We need a right tackle, Max Mitchell. I know it doesn't fit our normal stereotype of getting these larger tackles, but with the recent drafting philosophy of this team, we have gotten dudes who are much more athletic rather than large. And with a guy like Malik Willis, I think he'd appreciate that. It's going to work a lot better with that whole entire scheme overall. Abraham Lucas was another guy who could have certainly been taken. I just don't think he's as good as Max Mitchell. But we're still here. We could have waited, and we could have gotten even Jackson Kirkland, which, in my defense, I might still take as a right guard. Romeo Doubs is certainly somebody who I would target in the next round. Honestly, we might not have that 4th round pick. I think that went for Ahkello Witherspoon. If he's somehow there, we'll probably take him. Just as a Steelers thing to do. He's just a deep threat. That's why I'm not that ecstatic about him. We do need a right guard. And to be honest, I think I might want to take Jackson Kirkland to be that, because that's where I started becoming a fan of him as a guard. I love him to death as a guard. I think he'd be amazing. Tyler Smith has to be recommended here as well. The guy's an absolute freaking animal. Does it say he's a comedian? Okay, that's wonderful. So glad that he'd be a fun locker room presence in here. Just want to show you guys that. However, we're going to take Jackson Kirkland. He's a redshirt senior, so unfortunately, he doesn't have the option of going back to school and trying to rewrite this past year where he was top 10 pick and just dropped this far. So we're going to be taking Jackson Kirkland as a guard. So that's going to be our right guard spot. He did play right guard for a couple of years there at Washington at a very high level, and he is super athletic. He just doesn't belong on an island on his own. So we're going to have a whole entire new right side of the offensive line, and I think that's going to be perfectly fine. Within 2 years' time, this team is going to be absolutely dominant. And yes, I'm an offensive line guy. I love watching the offensive line. That's just my thing. But I think we got some outstanding value so far. Hopefully we can be able to steal a guy like Romeo Doubs, right? Romeo Doubs would be a steal later on, but there's a good chance that he's not going to be there. So far, you want to just look at the picks. We've gotten our star quarterback, which, yeah, he's going to be able to do something in the short term. To be honest, his arm talent is insane. I love Malik Willis's arm talent. Kyler Gordon, who is just unlimited ceiling corner for us out of Washington. Max Mitchell, our right tackle, as well as Jackson Kirkland, who's going to be our right guard. I'm a big fan of it so far. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge fan. All guys with some extreme upside, and all guys who can actually make a really good impact on this team with a really good scheme fit. Now, we could start focusing a little bit on the defense here because, I mean, obviously we did pretty much heavy on the offense here, but this is the way to go. Oof, I just saw Justin Ross go. I have a bad feeling Romeo Doubs is no longer on the board. If he is on the board, I'm going to be so happy. Oh, that hurts. Of course, me not paying attention. So where did he go? He went to the Jets, those little bastards, because that is exactly what I want to have gotten for the Steelers, because that's a perfect Washington replacement right there. However, we've already fixed all of our big needs besides wide receiver. Again, the Steelers do a great job of picking up dudes in free agency as well, mainly for the best at drafting them. Xavier Hutchinson is somebody who I'm probably going to draft later on in this. I don't know why he wouldn't go back. I think the guy's an absolute animal, really good player. Justin Shorter as well could be a really good one. Somebody who I have a weird feeling might be a Steeler just because he blocks like a motherfucker. He's a great player. I think his name's Kyle Phillips out of UCLA. Really, really good player. But honestly, I don't see much of a need to go into this realm. I was just trying to see if there's anybody crazy who's fallen. And the fact that Xavier Thomas and Tyreek Smith are down here behind guys like Cade Hall, it's just wrong. It really is. They're not that bad. But even the second corner wouldn't be a terrible idea. Riley Moss is somebody who I like quite a bit. It's not a very good draft to be deep. So given that, I honestly think the right move would be to go and give some actual help behind our actual star running back. So we've drafted running backs multiple years in a row. That doesn't mean that you stop. Benny Snell, no bueno. We got a pretty damn good replacement for him in Najee Harris. McFarland has just been pretty piss poor, to be honest. James Cook to me is worth a round 2 pick. Want to know behind the scenes. I love James Cook here. It's just the value for other positions isn't here. That's the problem. Our big issues are on the offensive side. Obviously, we could use somebody who's a little bit bigger who can help stop the run because we got eaten alive by Dalvin Cook. But I think that's more development than anything. A guy like Owen Papo could be good to add to the team, but I'm not seeing anybody who makes me get out of my seat. Xavier Thomas is somebody who I think I might pick up, though, just because the value is a little bit too good. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how many more picks we have. The one thing I forgot to do is check how many picks we have. It's funny seeing the Rams have 3 different picks in a row. That hasn't changed at all. So it kind of shows you that, unfortunately, the Draft Network doesn't actually take care of their draft board, which sucks. But we're here. Xavier Thomas is still on the board. Mike Jones, I'm projecting him to return. He better return and transfer. I mean, one, he's a redshirt sophomore, but I thought he was a redshirt junior for some reason. Regardless, the guy has incredible athleticism, and he hasn't played at all. So not going to draft him for that. Owen Papo deserves some respect. I think getting another developmental edge player who has freaky athleticism is the right move. So a team that Mike Jones used to play for, Clemson, is going to produce the Steelers another weird, fun edge talent. And of course, the Steelers will take somebody out of the Big Ten. They love taking edge and D tackles out of the Big Ten. So let's see. Is there anybody in here from the Big Ten? No. So that's a little bit disappointing. I hope to God they don't go after Deslin Alexandre. That would make me rip my hair out. Still, on a more serious note, a guy like Dontario Drummond is not a bad choice at all. I do like him quite a bit. I think he's worth more of like a 4th round pick. We're getting him here in the 7th. A guy who can stretch the field, play on his own. He's able to take guys on one-on-one. I think that's somebody that the Steelers will find a liking to, and you'll take him. I hope to God they don't go after any SMU wide receivers. I am an SMU student. I watch these guys all the time. Excellent route runners, excellent separators. These guys can't catch for shit. So a little bit of a oops, but it's just not good. So that's going to be the draft, guys. So let's do a quick recap. We got our starting quarterback. We got our QB1. We got a corner 1 as well. And then we fixed our right side of the offensive line. We got a really good pairing to save Najee a little bit of health. Like, we can't imagine this. We can't have this guy carry the ball 30 times a game and just pray that he stays healthy the whole time. Got to give him a little bit of rest. James Cook is a perfect guy to put there on 3rd downs and stuff. Xavier Thomas, an extremely high-end edge who has unlimited potential. I think he was the number 1 edge coming out of high school. He was ridiculous. And then Dontario Drummond, a really solid high floor wide receiver to add to the depth of this team. So let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.